Hi everybody, this is David Lamb. We're going to start our webinar review of the changing landscape of lead generation. You are all on mute, and that's really to stop a lot of the background noise we used to get when we had everyone on open mic. If you do have a question, please post it in the question segment, and what I'll do is I'll answer them as I see them come up, so hopefully in time to what we're talking about. But at the end, I'll also review any questions that are posted. So without further ado, we're going to get started. And I think the good news is that there's still a lot of validity in the old ways that we used to generate leads. And what do I mean by that? The sources of your leads can still come from your service department, customer referrals, existing customers, and new customers. And hopefully, as you're building your plan for this year, you're considering each of those as sources and how you hope to drive your leads from them. With, I think, the election and some of the uncertainty that's going to cause, I think, new customers are going to be harder to attract, and that you might get a better return on maybe not being quite as ambitious with attracting new customers, but looking at how you use your service department with existing customers, customer referrals, and other ways of reaching those existing customers. That's certainly the feedback we're getting from Mitsubishi at this time. And as we exit the year and there's some clarity on what's going to happen in 2017, maybe start to drive the new customer attraction process. So looking at service department lead generation, what are some of those best practices? So we know who our service technicians are, but to the customer, the homeowner, they're those trusted professionals. They give credible sources of information on what's needed in the home, industry experts, and they should be one of your prime lead generators. So hopefully when they're in the home, they're looking for the hidden opportunities. One of the best practices that we see is using a customer care questionnaire. And there's the opportunity to educate the customer on every call. Tracking where you are with those customers also then becomes important. So if you have some sort of customer management system, the obvious one is Salesforce. That's the most popular in the industry largest, that can say hit and get the text to give some information back to the office so you know what the opportunities are and where they are. Because they're not going to close every opportunity, but if you can have some sense of where that homeowner is on opportunities for the future, you can keep building that as you revisit them. And part of that is then building that fan base, creating the trusting bond, and really, this is the using modern kind of developing a trusted relationship with the homeowner in person rather than what we're going to talk about later, which is how you can do some of this electronically. Here's a good questionnaire that Mitsubishi provided to us, but you can adapt this to your market or to how you want to generate your leads with the homeowner. And this is something that the tech could then provide back to the sales department so that they can follow up. But thinking through the business process is also very important. So good having a questionnaire that falls into the black hole of no follow-up. Who follows up? Who then schedules the sales call, etc. How are you rewarding the tech for having these completed and then sales accruing from the completion of the form. So one of the ways that we see that's very popular is just having a nice trifold that you can leave behind, and maybe someone else can then follow up and see if there's any interest. And we'll talk about some of the co-op and options that we have for printing these sorts of things a little later in the presentation. And again, you can make it fun. Make it a competition between the techs. The guy who gets the most completed surveys maybe has a special prize for the month, a bonus or something. Sharing the results makes it competitive, and success breeds success. Look at things like number of service calls to installs, how many brochures are handed out, how many leads are generated. And like I said, rewards for success. So customer referrals is another key component. And I have a friend who works in banking, and he actually is responsible for setting up investment funds. And he has this great saying that it's really, really hard getting the first customer, but selling the second customer is really easy. And really what referrals do is make that person feel that they're not the first customer, but they're the second customer. So this is a great sign of how much a prospective customer trusts the referral, review, etc. And as you can see, a personal referral has such high levels of trust from the customer that it really is worth investing in those personal referrals, because your close rate is going to be significantly higher than online ads. So customers with referral programs, a couple of nice statistics: 69% faster close, 59% higher lifetime value, and 71% higher conversion rate. Would be very interested to know which of you guys on the call and in our industry in general have customer referral programs. So really, it's about how you implement these, because I'm sure a lot of you don't, and it's such a win-win if you can create the right incentive for the customers that actually are going to give you the referrals. So a very simple program is you earn $100 Visa gift card. The other one is like maybe for the fall a free service for a referral. So cleaning out their system or whatever. If they get you a referral that actually closes in a sale. And you have to promote it. It's no good having the secret referral program that no one's aware of. But keeping it simple so that everyone understands it is a great mechanism. And this is maybe another thing that you can promote through your service text. And a promotion with maybe a yard sign in the front for the homeowner starts to create more momentum in that neighborhood. There's a great website called Duct Tape Marketing, which is very much sort of focused on what I call high-value, low-cost marketing ideas. Strongly recommend that you go look at that. They have a number of referral programs. That certainly your referral programs we would make co-opable. Obviously, you'd have to submit the program and show us how it works, and that there's proof of payment, etc., to the homeowners that do the referring. But great program to sort of increase your close rates. And then looking at existing customers, this is another nice statistic that was provided to us by Mitsubishi. But an existing customer is more likely to buy from you 70% more than a new prospect. My math is not great, it's English math, but I reckon that's 3.5 times more likely. So how do you hit those existing customers? We talked about using your service text, but there's direct mail, and hopefully you have a good list, customer list with addresses. And that can be postcards or business communication. It can be telemarketing, it can be bill stuffers, email marketing, and Facebook. Again, one of the things that we strongly recommend, along with Mitsubishi, is gather as many email addresses as you can. Because emailing is a very cost-efficient way of touching your customers. And you can build other things into the email, maybe a quarterly newsletter with some offers and things like that, so that you're providing helpful information as well as special offers and sort of requests for action and purchase. So again, what the statistics tell us is you want to make a minimum of 3 drops to the same customer over an 8 to 10 week period. And you need an offer of what we call strong call to action. And you want to make sure you're bundling financing and all the rebate incentives. I personally think you offer something that's relatively low cost, both in terms of equipment and install, because that's going to be your point you start with the homeowner, and hopefully you can build from there and actually understand what their overall needs are, which is a significantly more comprehensive system than the one you have in the offer. You know, obviously having a deadline is important. Certainly with the heating season coming up, we have our rebates running through to November 15th, which is a great deadline. You know, rebates last until November 15th to get this offer, which gives the homeowner a hard deadline to make their decision by. Including a call tracking phone number is important because you can start to track then which of your campaigns is having success, and you're not losing what's creating which leads, and you can then start to hone where you put your marketing dollars based on the metrics you're creating from the specific phone tracking numbers you have. And you know, you want to feed the horses and starve the ponies. So here's an example of a nice postcard. Nice clean pictures, a specific offer where you're calling, name of the company, even a monthly rate. We can build these for you. Alice Wilde is extremely competent at building very attractive postcards. So if this is the sort of thing you want to do, talk to your TM. We can set you up with a special offer on postcard generations that we'll get to in a minute. So you want to maybe try and hit something like 2,500 existing customers, or as many customers as you have. You want to hit them 3 times between September the 15th and November the 15th. And the cost is about $3,500 before co-op. So your cost is $1,200. How many sales do you need to make to cover that $1,200? Not too many. So the other one is, what else are you sending to your customers on a regular basis? Invoices, receipts, thank you letters, service reminders. Why not put a stuffer in there? If they're used to receiving the invoice, the receipt, etc., then why not put an offer for a new system in those communications that you're sending to the customer? This is very cost effective because you're not really increasing your mailing cost. You're just paying for the stuffer. Here's a nice example of a bill stuffer. And again, you have the rebates. You have how much it could be, as low as $95 a month. Nice product image. Here's your call for action, who you want to contact. And again, You want to have a call tracking number so you can see how well your bill stuffer did, maybe against your direct mail. Next year you can say, well, I only got 3 bill stuffer, but I got 45 through the direct mail. Maybe I want to focus on direct mail. So the other thing with I'm looking at email programs, you want to keep that all electronic. So where are you going to land people if they're interested? And you want to land them on your web page, but you want to land them on a Mitsubishi related web page. It's no good talking about Mitsubishi in your email system if you've got nothing that makes them feel that you're an email, or that you're a Mitsubishi specialist company when it comes to them actually touching your web page. Also want to have a contact number as well so that they can reach out to you. And we're going to talk about maybe some other tactics around what the web page should be a little later in the presentation. So what are the changes? And I'd seen a couple of presentations that really talked about how even when consumers are in bricks and mortar type places to buy, they're going to their phones and looking and researching. So even with your existing customers, and as you're in the sales process with them, they're going out and looking for other information sources to validate their needs, validate your credibility, and actually validate their decisions. So that all used to take place in the traditionally as part of the sales call. Much of that is now, from a consumer perspective, is happening before they actually contact the dealer, and is very much part of how they decide on which dealer they're going to work with. So I think the challenge for many companies now is, how do you reach out electronically into that space pre-contact so that you increase the probability that that homeowner will contact you when they're ready to make that buy decision, even if you've also stimulated their interest and desire through some of the traditional mechanisms. So just a couple of other statistics to throw at you, and really talking about how people are now very comfortable with collecting information in the sales process, on their phones particularly, and how that then affects their behavior. I like this one in the bottom left-hand corner, how almost half of consumers would abandon an in-store purchase if they found that the product was at 2.5% discounted online. 87% of shoppers would leave because of a price difference of 20%. So even though you might be engaging consumers through the traditional mechanisms, and they're still very valid, you still need some sort of electronic website engagement to support what you're doing through the traditional mechanisms, because many consumers now, and I'm going to show you another statistic that indicates it's probably 50%, are also validating much of what they receive electronically. I thought this was also very interesting, looking at how a lady's buyer's journey to purchasing a car went through many layers of investigation before she decided which car she wanted. And many of your homeowners are passing through a similar path. So she's going to a general manufacturer's site. She's then looking at reviews of other car owners, trying to validate that she won't experience buyer's remorse, and validating her own decisions. She's then ready to go and engage with the specific dealer. But she's taken what? 1, 2, 3, 4 steps before she's decided who she's going to engage with. And you need to decide how, as a company, you're going to push your message and your value up the chain prior to actual contact, so that they view you, the homeowner views you as what I call a trusted vendor, and therefore are more likely to choose you to buy from than the other guys. I think this is a really big wake-up call for us all. And really what this is saying is that 1 in 2 of our customers are doing significant research before purchase. So in our case, before we're contacted as a business, the consumer is out there doing a lot of research, deciding who they will contact. Even if you've engaged them through your service techs, etc., there's a good probability they're going to go online, look at things like Yelp, look at your website, and then decide if they want to move forward with you. And you need to have a strategy that doesn't rule out the other half of the market that is starting to research. And this is only going to increase. So people are going to do more research, more people are going to do research. There's going to be more apps that provide customer feedback. There's probably going to be apps that take customer feedback, look at your website and score it all, and all sorts of things. Because it's only going to get easier, and it'll only be easier to do from your phone. So what is the buyer's journey? What's the theory behind it? So the homeowner has three layers, and we're calling them awareness. What is the problem I'm trying to solve? Consideration, what's the solution? And then how do I make the decision? And much of this, again, like I'm saying, is also, whilst they're living in the real world and they're getting them direct mails and everything, they're also doing this electronically. And how do you support this? So here's some of the information that people are looking for. So reports, research reports, expert content, white papers, educational content at the awareness level. Consideration is what sort of guides can you give? Interactions, webcasts, podcasts. What I'm doing today, I'd say this is consideration, sharing information, trying to educate. Based on this, then you start to get to the decisions stage. Who am I going to work with? Looking at vendor comparisons, case studies, product literature, probably looking at referrals, Yelp and things like that. So at that first level, and NETR, Mike Capuccio's company, have invested significantly in this. And they're providing content at all 3 layers. So at the awareness stage, they're talking about sort of bigger concepts, about controlling your concepts, how to take advantage of the mass savings plan, and again, some information, some easy to digest information. What they also do is they start trying to capture who you are at this stage. So you provide credentials, your email, etc., when you download something. Because then they can start to track you and how you are interacting with them. Then at the consideration stage, they're providing a little bit more information on what a Mitsubishi system is, how much it costs to run, and again, lots of free content that helps the decision, the homeowner through the steps so that they can get to a decision stage. What they're really doing is building their credibility by sharing usable, digestible information that helps the homeowner feel that that NETR understands their problem and that they have the best solutions. And then this is why you should consider us. This is why we're a good company to work with. But they've built much of that credibility with the homeowner by providing useful, helpful information in the pre stages. So here is a good case study of what they are specifically doing, and finding a specific, the homeowner finds a specific answer to one of their questions: how much does it cost? And one of the other things that we find that help drive leads is that the homeowner sees themselves in the content on your website, be it that it's an application type issue they have, be it pictures of their neighborhood, be it that you're a local company. But trying to reflect the local problems and issues that people face in their home drives that sense of you understand them. It also, by the way, helps where you come in the SEO, because Google is becoming more and more sensitive to hyperlocal content. And then we're just looking at how that homeowner gathers more information. What is also now available with some technologies is the ability to start to see how customers are interacting with you electronically once you've got their credentials, so that you can start to measure what they're taking from you and how their requirements are maturing as they come down the buyer's funnel and through the buyer's story. So he's now, at this stage, he understands the cost, is comfortable with it, and he's now in a position he trusts. He's got a lot of information that was helpful to him. He's now ready to set up an appointment. The other nice thing about sort of the buyer's journey and that education is it can significantly reduce your sales time when you're face-to-face, because you've provided a lot of that information. You've provided a lot of the education, which when I talk to many of the sales professionals in our industry, that takes up often half the time of a sales call. Well, if you've provided all that information, you can still go through it, but hopefully they've absorbed a lot of that information. So really, what we're also talking about is the concept of lead nurturing. It's not now just about sending something out, the person responds, I want to have a call with you. It's how do you nurture your prospects through those 3 levels so that they choose you. And here are some questions that I would say you want to be asking yourself. How does your online presence support owners looking for information about their comfort problems? What information can the homeowner download in exchange for contact information? This is how you're going to build a nice email list. This is how you can reach out to them once they've downloaded information. Hey, I saw you downloaded the cost of a Mitsubishi system. Do you have any questions? Can I help you? How can you present the comfort problems that homeowners face in your region? You know that more than anyone else. So that homeowners start to see you as someone who solves the problems they have. And how do you set up recognizable geographic case studies and relate them to where you make your most sales? Because if that's your hotspot, then focus on it and let's see how you can harvest that in a more effective way. And the big question is, does your online presence help you become a trusted vendor with a homeowner? And if not, what do you need to do? And you know the answers, because you're out there every day talking with people. So what are the most common problems you're asked to solve with Mitsubishi? How much do you have to explain about how it works? Do you need to define what is a split system? How does it provide heating and cooling? There's all sorts of information you know and your company knows that you're asked on a sales call. So if you can then provide the information about your most common questions and educational type questions online, then that's a great way of helping your prospects understand what they're getting into, and again, building that credibility online. And the more educational information you provide that's valid to your market, then the more likely you are to become a trusted vendor. And also, the shorter your sales calls will be. And probably those people that you then go out on that call are looking for a reason to say yes because you've been that trusted vendor, rather than skeptical and looking to say no. So what would a typical plan look like? And I apologize, I'm overrunning a little bit. I always do. So I think one of the first things you want to do is what would our workflow logically look like? So map out how you might want to create a plan. And some of it can be email. I just mapped this out. Oh, I stole this slide because it was electronic, but it doesn't have to all be email. It could be that your first 2 steps are direct mail and then an email. It could be that you have 2 steps that are with on the website, then an email, and then a direct call. So we also broke it out into your relative segments. And what we're saying on the acquire side for this year, certainly till December, is probably don't want to invest too much on that, because with the economic uncertainty and the high cost of trying to acquire new customers, then probably it's going to be too expensive and not particularly effective to try and get those people engaged with your customers. But in the existing customers, maybe existing customers that you're not what I call actively involved with, what programs are you going to run this fall to acquire their business? And then with the customers that you're actively engaged in, what programs are you going to run? So breaking your existing customers into what I call customers but aren't what I call don't have service contracts, and customers with service contracts can give you different strategies. And then I think it's important to understand, well, who is Mitsubishi marketing to at the national level? Because really what we want to do is target the same people. And we show this slide every time we talk about marketing. But Mitsubishi is spending a tremendous amount of money building engagement with comfort seekers and tech seekers. There's no reason why you would want to deviate from this, because these are the people most likely to have front-of-mind awareness of what Mitsubishi is, and more likely to be looking to buy Mitsubishi than the rest of the segments that Mitsubishi's identified. So if you then think about, well, the product launch plan, program launch plan, what are the products that we're releasing? What are the services? What events are we going to do? Customer acquisition, maybe not so much. And this is what you might be wanting to think about. What are the programs? What are the value propositions that we're going to put in front of our customers? And like I say, on the acquire, you might want to, for Q3, wait for the general election to work through, and maybe end of the year, new year, start to really hit acquiring new customers hard. But engage and retain should be your primary focus. And you might want all sorts of programs at different times to try and drive those customers. So again, looking at how that might play across all the different activities. And again, here what we should be saying is all of your messaging should be trying to hit either comfort seekers or tech seekers, be it new customers, existing customers that you maybe not have a great relationship, and the ones with service How do the products that are coming out play to those? And do you want some sort of loyalty? And this could be loyalty, it could be a referral program, or a referral program certainly with your retained guys who you have an active relationship with. And again, just breaking this down into what a buyer's journey might look like in your process for your programs, I think is really important, and how that then relates to your workflow. And then you want to track it. How much is it going to cost? How many customers am I getting? And what was the revenue? And again, this is a way to constantly look at what you're succeeding with, what do you want to repeat and fine-tune, and what's not worked. Let's not do that again. So if you can constantly improve your marketing programs, you're going to get better return on the investment you spend. So tracking it, understanding where the money is coming from and what your revenue to cost is, becomes a key performance indicator for you in terms of marketing and what programs you want to move forward with in the future. So what questions should you be asking? Which segments of the market should we be addressing? New customers, we don't think until late Q4. Definitely existing customers, and we break that out into two sets. You've probably got a set of customers that have bought a system with you, but have dropped off, don't have service contracts, and then what I call existing customers that you're actively engaged with. How are you going to reach those two? How long will it take you to get your program ready? Ideally, you want to be ready with your heating program certainly by October. So if you're not thinking about who you're going to go to, what your message is, how you're going to deliver it, etc., in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be very hard to actually execute and be ready for October as the heating season starts. And then if you've got this program, what is your business process to support the plan? When do you email them? When do you set up sales calls? Who's making sure the texts are driving leads? How are you making sure that you have a simple program that everyone follows? And celebrate your success, but define it very clearly so that everyone knows what success looks like. So what is the offer? And this seemed like an appropriate little video vignette. Hopefully it'll load.
Right, let's talk the buyers from the spires, the needy from the greedy, and those who trust me from the ones who don't. Because if you can't see value here today, you're not happy as shopping. You're happy as shoplifting. See these goods, never seen daylight, moonlight, Israelite, and funny by the gaslight. Take your bag, come on, take your bag. I took a bag home last night, it was a lot more than £10, I can tell you. Anyone like jewellery? Look at that one there. Handmade in Italy, hand stolen in Stepney. As long as mine aren't, I wish it was as long as someone else. Don't think because these boxes are sealed up they're empty. The only man who sells empty boxes is the undertaker. By the look at some of you lot here today, and make more money with your measurement tape. Here, one price. £10. You say £10. Are you deaf? That's a bargain, I'll say one. Squeeze in if you can, left leg, right leg, your body will follow. We call it walking. You want one as well, darling? You do, that's it. They're waking up. Treat the wife, treat somebody else's wife. It's a lot more fun if you don't get caught. Hold on, you want one as well? Okay, darling, show me a bit of life then.
All right, and one of the things I like about that, sort of like actually making it relevant to what we're talking about, the first guy who buys validates everyone else. So again, no one wants to be first. The guy who actually bought the first perfume or whatever actually was an associate of the guy who's selling the stuff, and he cured that fear of first by having a stooge in the crowd buy that first product. So what do we want to be offering this fall? Mitsubishi has a big focus on what they're calling zoned comfort solutions. And that's really the ability of having the multi-head system with whatever you want on the indoor to meet that home owner's need. And when we look at the combinations that Mitsubishi has available from all the high wall options, hyperheat, ducted, floor, etc. They have 50% more options than the next manufacturer. And I always like to sort of like test that against the so what theory. So what does that mean to you and the homeowner? It means that you can assemble a better solution, a more custom solution than any other manufacturer that more perfectly meets that homeowner's need than any other vendor. And I think that's very important, that concept of a better solution for each home is something that we want to make sure that our homeowners understand. Not only is it a better solution, it's a solution that will last longer, with better warranty and better service from you, the dealer. The other key product, I think, is hyperheat. Pennsylvania is one of the prime hyperheat territories. And coming this year, you're going to see a 5-ton system. So we're going to go up from the 4-ton, which is the limit on the moment, to a 5-ton system, and that should be coming out at the end of the year. And then I think we have better controls. One of the things I would strongly recommend if you sell large systems is throw a Kumo Cloud in for free. Buy a solution, get a Kumo Cloud, which is the app-based control for the home and the unit on someone's phone, and that really speaks to your technology seekers. So again, you're talking to one of the principal segments that Mitsubishi is marketing to on a national level. And here's how Mitsubishi sees the hyperheat market, and that's everything in the red. And as you can see, we're in prime hyperheat territory. So what that really means is that your need for secondary heat is very limited, and that hyperheat can take care of all the home's heating needs, as well as cooling. So we're going to be running the rebates again. They're going to be the same as the spring. They start September 15th, and they'll run through till November 15th, with 15 days to register. PECO now has a ductless rebate program, which came in June. It's a small rebate, but it starts in August, and I think it finishes about mid-November. But you can certainly, if you've not signed up for it, you can sign up for it. Is the EAP one, Electricians Association of Philadelphia, if you're in the 5 counties. It cannot be coincidental with the Pierce Phelps rebate, but again, it's something that you can make use of. We have a few guys who do that. There's a new financing program coming out from Mitsubishi that can help you figure out what a monthly payment will be, and also extended warranties. And look at how you can use your co-op. If you're not going to do the direct mail, how can you make your online presence more relevant and helpful to homeowners? This is going to be certainly our offers in terms of statement stuffers, etc. All of this is, as you can see, co-opable. We have our total cost and your cost. I think extremely reasonable. And Alice will help design any of these with you. And again, talk to your TM about getting this organized. This will all be in our program book, which we will be reviewing in just over a week's time. The other thing that I'm a big fan of, and I think it's the kind of, hate to sound like the Cockney salesman on selling jewelry on the street corner, but this is the deal of the century. EB&L will add a Mitsubishi module. You don't have to put it on your front page, but you can put it a page down so it's sort of out of sight of your Carrier Bryant people that monitor websites. But you get a web page with all the new product information for $450. There's no annual fee. It's a one-time fee. They keep it updated. And your cost, because it's co-opable, it's $150. Why anyone would not do that is beyond me. I think it's the deal of the century. I don't know how EB&L makes any money out of it. So what would an integrated offer maybe look like? A high efficiency, hyperheat offer. And why is that good? It saves the homeowner money, provides cooling in the summer as well, with a free control Kumo Cloud. What are the rebates? What's the monthly payment? If you take the rebates into account, you're showing the rebates. And throw an extended labor warranty on there. Remember, all you're trying to do is get that interest. But you want to make sure then you have, if that's going to be something that you're doing in the real world, how you're supporting that with your website and information on the website. The other thing that I think is becoming more and more important is how you're driving your online reviews. And it's not just about making sure there are no negative ones out there. And again, I think service text can be really important in this, is, you know, incent your service text to get positive reviews. We have one of our dealers that has over 400 positive reviews in their market. Who are the old homeowners going to flock to when they're doing their online research, when one guy has so many positive reviews? So, you know, you need to understand what reviews do you have, how many, what is your online reputation, and how are you monitoring it? How are you staying on top of that? I did a quick search. I'm not recommending any of these. It was on top 10 reviews for reputation management. But I would say you do need to have something that is looking at what's happening to your reputation online, and that you can take corrective action if you have a problem, but that you need to at least be aware of it. So, you know, what should people look forward this year? And it's not too late. It's, you know, what is your marketing plan for heating solutions this season? Which segment are you going to try and address? Technology or comfort seekers? Are you targeting within that engaged customers, previous customers? You can be very ambitious and go for new customers. You know, our recommendation is maybe stay off on that. What offers are you going to put in front of them to generate leads? How are you reaching them? Is it just traditional, or is it new, or both? I think you need an integrated strategy. How are you assisting people when they're assessing you, looking for information with useful information? How are you becoming that trusted vendor online? And what are you doing to generate online reviews and monitor your reputation? Okay, so hopefully that sort of seeded some thoughts for thinking about as we move forward into this heating season. We've got a series of webinars that hopefully will help you kind of execute fairly quickly. We've got some great offers in terms of production costs on the webinar. I'm now going to just quickly look at the questions. And we have one. And thank you, Deb Lutz, for that. The info is great. I always like that. Yes, we will share this information. We've recorded it as well. We'll put it up on our Google Drive so people can access it. And the other thing is, I'm happy to come and sit with any of you if you want to brainstorm and look at, you know, what your plans might be. My contact information's here. And hopefully, again, you know, our hope is to help you guys be more successful. And you know, as we say, you know, we succeed when you succeed. So thank you very much for your time. We will be sending out the link to this. I'll also send everyone who's on the webinar the details of the next webinars. And also we're going to do a roadshow at various sites across the territory. And that's a chance for you to sit with either James or Ryan, and you know, any questions you've got, you can sort of share with them, and hopefully we can, you know, answer anything that you're not certain of. If there's no more questions, I'll close the webinar. Thank you very much for your time, and hopefully you'll have a great week. Thank you.